Hello everyone, welcome to the video. In this video we'll be talking about the best resources to learn F#. Now, learning F# can be a difficult journey depending where you're starting, and when you're stuck it's good to know how you can learn more strategies, how you can actually learn the language to start with. And so it's very important to identify what are the best resources for F#. And if you're new here, my channel is actually dedicated to learning the basics of F# and much more. But like my channel is not complete, at least not yet. And I want to help other people that maybe know my channel, don't know other resources. What are the other resources they can go ahead and check out? I'm going to split up these resources as in different categories. So there are categories where resources to learn the language itself, like to start from scratch and like learn the language. Then there are other resources that are good for when you're stuck, like how to ask questions, how to figure out what's the problem. So like more question-based resources. Then there are the resources to get good ideas, or how do people design stuff and what are some good design patterns. And so that's like more like tech talk stuff. And lastly, we're going to look at communities that you can be a part of and either share what you're doing, ask questions, and more stuff like that. And so the best source to learn F#, all things combined, would probably be FSHARP4funandprofit.com. Now, this site has been active for well over like 7 years, 8 years or something. It's been one of these sources, one of the first blogs to emerge in the F# community, and it's Scott Wlaschin's blog. He has great detailed tutorials, explanations, blog posts about the basics, some design patterns, some ways to think about things, and it's very complete, very easy to understand, and it's probably the biggest inspiration I have in my development journey, and also making tutorials, just revisiting the fundamentals. I really like his perspective and how he explains things. He's a great educator, and it's definitely one of the hallmark resources that you must know in the F# community. He also has a lot of tech talks on YouTube, so you could just look up Scott Wlaschin. So there's a silent W there. Or it's probably not silent, I'm not sure. But yeah, great resources. His tech talks, how he explains things is very good. I'm sure you'll be a very big fan of this if you don't already know him. And if you already know him, you probably are a big fan of his. And so go check him out. He also has a book called Domain Modeling Made Functional, I believe. And I bought that book. I really liked it. Good way to model a domain and have that domain-driven design mindset, having a team sitting with the domain experts and having the code reflect the domain knowledge and stuff. So I highly recommend that book also. And it's the only book I bought for F# because I don't really learn languages with books anymore. Like I have a copy of Absolute C++ I had to buy in university, but I don't really learn with books anymore. I mostly learn with videos and tech talks and stuff and blog posts. So yeah, that's the best resource, hands down, probably. There's also like many other resources. To learn, like I said previously, my channel is dedicated for learning at first. So I have a big fundamentals tutorial on YouTube. And the reason why I actually started on YouTube is because I felt there was a big gap in knowledge on YouTube. And so when I started, like before I started my videos, when I started learning F#, there's like two big F# tutorials, one by Derek Banas and the other one by the Dev Aspect. I think his name is now like System Crafters. And the first one is like the one that had the most views, Derek Banas. He does a lot of tutorials on many different languages and very different things. And so his tutorial is it's kind of like using F# like if it was a C-style language or like any other language, and I felt it was very incomplete. Like, don't get me wrong, I actually like Derek and what he does, especially the design pattern video series is like how I learned design patterns and how I learned to leverage them. So like big shout out to him. But I don't feel the F# video really captured the essence of the language, and so that's one thing that kind of annoyed me. And the dev aspect, his tutorial series is actually pretty good. The main critique is it probably goes a bit fast, so it just goes in and you learn about options and sequences and stuff like that. And I feel what I wanted is something that goes much slower, so it'd be easier to understand. And people who are like can learn faster can just 2x the video. You just can play the video faster and be done with it. So slower is better. And that's kind of why I felt like we needed some F# content, because on YouTube it's basically dry. A lot of people don't know about the actual language, so it's kind of sad. And we'll get more to the adoption problem of F#. Is something I want to focus on as well. But yeah, so on YouTube, there's some tech talks also. I really like F# in the real world one, Scott Wlaschin's videos. And yeah, there's a lot of tech talks. Don Syme has a few of them, and Philip Carter, which is the project manager, I believe, PM, yeah, for F# at Microsoft. He does a lot of tech talks. He has a few about why you should learn F#, and so that's like kind of a bigger one. Also, another source, so this is probably a source of information that even though you've been writing F#, you maybe don't know about, is the F# exchange conferences. So every year there's a conference called F# Exchange, and there's a bunch of full-length tech talks. There's some like lightning talks about what people are working on, and there's actually a lot of content there that I learned, like how from like how to use Pulumi for deploying to the cloud and kind of like doing infrastructure as code in F#. There's like how do people leverage ML.NET for doing machine learning and stuff like that. So there's a lot of good content there. And even though it might be a bit more specialized, you probably won't have any like getting started type tutorials. You have a lot of good detailed tutorials about specific areas of F#. So that's a good resource as well. Let's look at more websites to learn F#. So the Microsoft documentations are actually pretty decent. Learning the language, how to use certain aspects of the language like async and how computation expressions work, stuff like that. There's good documentation there. So I recommend checking out the documentation if you need any help with the specifications of certain features of the language. And for blog posts or for blogs, there's a good blog by Mark Seaman. I think it's Plowy. I don't know how to pronounce that. But he has a good blog, and so yeah, I learned a lot of things about architecture mostly from him and on architecture code. Another good blog is Compositional IT. So Compositional IT is an F# consultancy as well, like with Azure specifically. They're the main maintainers of the Safe Stack, which I'll be talking about next video and going very in depth into. And yeah, they put out good information. They're also the ones that do the Farmer library to deploy ARM templates. So a lot of good content there. And yeah, there's a lot more blogs. To be honest, I can go on and on for that, but you can like just Google it, I guess. And so, what do you do when you have a problem in F#? Now, obviously, the first thing is Google stuff. Like, Google it. You'll have a lot of information there. There's a lot of stuff on Stack Overflow. Like, I'd say 50% of the time, if you look up something on Stack Overflow, it's going to be Thomas Petrusek answering the question. So that's kind of funny how much time he's put into it. It's pretty cool. And that basically leads me to the next category, which are communities. So if you're learning F# and you're looking where to ask questions and stuff, communities would be the answer. So Reddit is pretty good. And so you can go on Reddit, ask questions. I'm often there, either promoting my videos, or I do answer questions at times. Often I just go on and see what's up. And most of the time, if I go to answer a question, it's already answered, so I just don't bother with that. But if it's not answered, I definitely answer it. Another website is Twitter, to be honest. Twitter, #F#. There's a lot of people on Twitter. They post what they're doing. They yeah, if you have questions, people there to answer. So that's pretty good. And there's also the Slack channel, and I've recently started posting more in the Slack. But basically, if you join the FSHARP Software Foundation as a member, and I think it's basically free. I don't remember if you have to pay anything. I think it's free, but yeah, you have access to the Slack channel, and the Slack channel there's a bunch of people that write FSHARP, and there's a bunch of channels for like beginners and stuff. Yeah, so that's a good way as well. Obviously, Google would be probably the best way to do it. Like, try to find answers that are already, questions that are already answered. Then maybe like go on Reddit or Slack or Twitter would be my best guess. And lastly, I'd like to leave with another good website I actually forgot to mention, but FSHARP Weekly is very good. So FSHARP Weekly is a website that Sergey Tikhon, I believe, probably how you say his name, but Sergey basically posts a lot of links to what happened in the last week. And so that's a good way to see what's new with FSHARP. And there's FSHARP Awesome, which is a list of cool projects on GitHub. So if you say, hey, how do I like access data with FSHARP, you can go on the FSHARP Awesome repository and check out all the cool stuff there. And you can see like a lot of stuff that other people have done. But I don't think it's entirely up to date. Like Felice is not even on that list. It probably should be because it's very used and stuff. So yeah, I think that's basically where I'm going to leave it for this video. If you enjoyed this video, if you want to leave a like, that will help me out a lot. And comment. Apparently commenting is very important for the algorithm. So if you want to help grow FSHARP, grow my channel, comment down below what you want to see. Like if you enjoyed the video or something. And subscribe, because next video I'm going to announce a project that I'm going to be working on longish term. And it's going to be really cool. Like in-depth, doing a project on the channel end to end, seeing how everything is done using all the current technologies. So it's going to be pretty fun. Stay tuned, subscribe, and I'll see you in that next video. Peace.